Hey, what is up, everyone? How we doing tonight?
I ate, so I'm no longer hungry, dude. It was a long day.
You might get sleepy. That's what happened to me.
Yeah, dude. I feel that coming on, dude. After this, it might be nap time.
So we got Brad speaking, of course, and then Mike Pierce chiming in about eating. We got a bunch of people shoving in here, so we'll give it a few minutes. Yeah,
I mean, Alex is here, so we might as well just start. I mean, that's what we were waiting for.
that's who we were waiting on. Him and Deborah and Nitwit,
Andre.
we were all waiting on to join us. And yeah, they are all three here. So that's all I was planning
We've
on.
got all three people that are registered, and we can probably get going, dude.
Yeah, so yeah, all three of them. Yeah, it was a good campaign. But anyway, we got a bunch of cool stuff planned for you tonight. It's been honestly too long since we've hosted one of these big public webinars. We've been just sticking to the live broadcast, having a lot of fun with those, and of course NFG Monthly every month. But glad everyone is here. Glad to see people piling in, and we'll, like I said, get started in a few minutes. If you're just piling in, it's myself, Brad, and Mike on tonight. I don't think we have any special guests planned tonight, do we, Mike?
No, just my second personality.
She's always
we
here.
Got Poppy D here.
Nice.
Poppy D is here, so we're good to go.
Frank's here. Henry, Jared, Joseph, Michael, Nelson,
Henry Joseph,
Sky, and Eve, Chris, yeah, David. Yeah, still got people piling in, so we'll give it, like I said, a minute or two. We don't want to keep this too late because I know Mike's got a lot to cover. We tried to condense it as much as possible so we wouldn't hold everyone too late. But you know, if you need to tap out, of course, we've got an encore presentation tomorrow, and that will not be just another replay of this one. That'll be completely live. I'm pulling Mike's ass out of bed early in the morning, and we are going to drink some coffee and talk about SEO. Do you drink coffee, Mike?
Nah, dude, that shit makes me fall asleep, bro.
Yeah, that's how Kelsey is.
Yeah, that's that
funny.
APD love.
Yeah, exactly. So she's, I think, switched to decaf or something. So again, we got more people rolling in. I think it's like close to doubled since we went live. So I'll give it just a few more minutes. You got Brad and Mike BSing tonight about traffic loss and making the most out of this, what I call a huge opportunity. Would you call it an opportunity or a detriment?
It's huge. Yeah, no, it's a huge opportunity. I think that's a good way to put it. I think if anyone has experienced that loss, drop some questions in here. We won't take them public. If you have anything that we can probably get
specifically,
yeah. If you've recently, I mean, there's a lot of different things going on at one time now, so it's there's a lot of different things to look at. But if there's anything that's affected you, drop it in here. We get to it tonight, great. We get to it another time, we will get to it for you. So.
Yeah, and I think ultimately it comes down to focus too. You know, focus on the right things at the right times, and then all the rest is noise. So we'll give it like one more minute. Again, Brad and Mike here, ready to kick off this badass webinar. It's been a while since we've done the late night ones. I guess it's not too late, technically speaking, but 8 o'clock here. So
I might not fall out of my chair on this one.
I hope not. That was probably the funniest and the oddest moments we've ever had. Who was here for the mic chair break incident?
It was good, dude. I am not sure how it happened. I don't quite remember anything but winding up on my ass during the webinar.
Oh, I remember, yeah. Holly Starks is here as well. What up, Holly?
Holly made it. Right. We can start.
Yep. Since Holly's here, I guess we'll get started. Let me keep this chat to the side. I'll try and monitor that as much as I can. We'll go ahead and get started. So, like I said in the emails, if you saw those, tonight we're going to cover why/how you're consistently giving away traffic. That means to your competition. If you have not experienced that yet, with the perpetual updates rolling out continuously, at some point you definitely will. So it's best to be prepared. mitigate against that risk and, just trounce the competition. So let's go. So tonight we're going to cover our 3-step repeatable process. And when I say repeatable, about how many, have you hit 100 sites that you've helped recover and gain massive?
2.5, I think, 2.5, 3. Actually, it's getting further now. I think we're like 4 months. I would say since December core, yeah.
Yeah, and to put into perspective, we've seen guys take, like I said in one of the emails, a $250,000 cut off of his site sale because of the December update, and he wasn't able to recover.
Was that December or was that like later on? I can't remember. I might have.
It was early part of the year. I thought it hit him.
I think it might have been like when they did the unnamed stuff. But yeah, it's been crazy, dude, to see some of the hits that. I mean, it's still one thing, you're selling the site, but losing $250K on a sale is a big hit.
Yeah, I think he initially got hit in December and it kept kind of gradually going down. Mm-hmm. So he cut his losses and took it. So our 3-step repeatable process that will help you, 1, stop the leak, 2, turn your site around, and 3, catapult you to hopefully all-time new traffic highs and revenue, of course, that comes along with that. We tried to make these as easy, simple, and as actionable as possible, because if we don't, then I can't do it. We want you to be able to start implementing immediately, and that's what I like about it. So like I said, our goal is to 1, recover any losses that you might have had over the past 6, 7, 8 months through these perpetually rolling out updates, and 2, we want you to be able to kind of safeguard going forward. There's actually a 3. We want you to recognize opportunity when it's out there. A lot of people are getting hit right now. So think about what you could do right now to kind of bring in some more revenue and capitalize on that. Not in a sharky way, but capitalize by helping people and getting paid to do so. Yeah. So if you stay until the end, we've got some pretty cool news. It might involve me getting hit in the head. It might not, though. So you'll have to stay around till the end to hear about that. So wait till the end. So for those of you that don't know us, I saw a lot of familiar faces on here tonight.
A lot of new ones too, though.
Yeah, a few that I didn't know. This is kind of NFG. It stands for No F's Given. It kind of came out of the fact that Mike and I noticed a lot of people consistently having that paralysis by analysis mindset where they had all this knowledge in their head, but they didn't know how to kind of hit the ground running. They were kind of 6 inches off the ground, just spinning their wheels. That the NFG mindset is meant to put them down on the ground and just take off. Start doing something. If you're going to fail, you're going to fail fast, and you're going to learn, and you're going to be better for next time. So you're going to, you're going to end up a lot further ahead. So just stop giving a shit, basically. So the NFG crew, it's Mike and myself since what was that first year? 2016?
15 or so. The first year, 16. Yeah, I think officially 16. I will call it that.
Yeah, 15,
there's only one
16.
handsome dude on that in those pictures, and it is not you or me, bro.
Yeah, I know, it's Spencer. So luckily, he's still light enough for me to pick him up like that, so I can look somewhat fit. So yeah, that was on our recent trip to the mountains. But yeah, it's me and Mike. Mike is tech SEO all the way. He loves digging into patents, piling through data. I like taking all the data that he's compiled and kind of minimizing it to, okay, what do we need that will help us right now? So Mike is like up here, and I try and, jump up. I can't jump high, jump up and bring it down to ground level so we can all implement it. So.
Playing keep away.
So the new normal, like I alluded to a minute ago, perpetual updates. I look for, if you haven't ever been on a webinar of ours, I look for consistent places to put memes in. So that's my ultimate goal in this presentation, is just to chuckle and find Star Wars memes.
I might have a surprise for someone if they count the memes and tell me how many after the show too. So
does this one count?
That counts as a meme right there. That's one.
Yeah, that's first one, I think. Yeah. So we're at 2. So perpetual updates. Who has seen them? Who's been affected by them? Post them up in the comments.
If you're not seeing perpetual updates, I don't think you're watching. If you're not seeing change constantly, I don't think you're
not watching, or maybe not going.
Maybe, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So if you have a smaller local site that hasn't been hit, you probably need to expand. If you haven't seen some segment of your network that's been hit, I would suggest expanding, to be honest. So we got updates. Who in here has been hit by an update and that has caused a continuous loss in traffic / revenue? And when I say continuous, I mean kind of a steady slope down, maybe in chunks, 10 to 25% at a time. Seems relatively consistent.
I have.
But yeah, you get through one update and you're like, oh man, that's over. I lost a little traffic, but I'm still rolling. I'm still good. And then they just freaking sucker punch you again. So, and who in here has seen the updates and that have forced you or your clients to feel like giving up, either in your career, on specific projects, been like, just throw your hands up and say, screw it, I'm done? Or who has seen a great reduction in income from money sites, from your money sites losing traffic? And was it consistent, just out of curiosity? Was your revenue loss consistent with your traffic?
I mean, I will say that I'm seeing sites that are doing $1 million a month going down to doing, 200,000 a month. And I'm seeing people closing their doors, trying to start new paths in life because of this shit and COVID, the COVID and the updates at the same time. And especially with like the last 1 or 2, I've seen some solid white hat opportunity hit type people that have just been destroyed by it. So if you have seen it, you're really not alone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we've seen a lot of kind of, at least in their minds, catastrophic moments where, maybe they had to shut down their brick and mortar, shut down their online presence. When I've been talking to people like that, I continually say that this is a time of opportunity and they need to take advantage of it. This is a sign. Shut down the brick and mortar stuff, go strictly online, because that's where it's going to be. Put all your eggs in that basket. You can run leaner. You can scale much quicker. Screw the brick and mortar anchor that's holding you down, in my opinion. So, yep. Here is, I can't remember what site this was, but as we can see, it's about a relatively consistent, we're up here, a consistent kind of sharp drop down. Then you kind of, see some recovery up here, then a little recovery, then back down, and then it's
this is really common. Like what you're seeing here, this graph, if you're not in a lot of sites, if you're not looking at console or analytics a lot for a lot of different sites, this is super common. And there are dates in here where you'll see decrease as well that are unnamed, but they were felt basically market wide in the US and in various other locations. So this is a very common graph to look for when you're having issues.
Yep, exactly. So we've seen, Mike sent me multiple examples from, not clients, I guess, but some students, some colleagues, some masterminds, stuff like that. So, but luckily we have Mr. Michael S. Pierce. And your graph should be looking a little bit more like this, your revenue and traffic graph.
It's funny, man. Yesterday I went to go scold one of the people that is in the community, right? And because I thought they were doing something wrong, and they're like, well, this is what I'm doing. And I took a look, and I'm telling you, these graphs, like this reverse waterfall, is what people should be seeing consistently right now if they're doing things correctly. This is just like what we're talking about with the negative. This is what you should be seeing when you're launching new shit.
It should be like Christmas, right?
Yeah.
I'm not fat and jolly anymore. I'm, skinnier and angrier, but, I've got a fight to train for. So,
Yeah.
All right. So why in the hell does Mike matter? You know, like I've alluded to a few times in the past, this is an actual picture of Mike. He is a closet furry. So he likes to wear the bow tie and, you know, drink milk. But he is consistently in the lab. And when I say that about people, a lot of times you can kind of over embellish it. But this dude goes on like benders of SEO data analyzation. He has access to through students, colleagues, his network. He has thousands of sites that he can analyze, see what went up, what went down. I would say you're more than quite a few of the people we know, right? I can't think of too many people that would have a larger network than what
No, I think the API we're putting together to pull the ranking data and the traffic data is something like 8,000 to 10,000 like actual campaigns, dude. Like real, not like one of our networks that we don't pull data on, you know. It's a lot of freaking data, dude.
Yeah, luckily he's got a very solid crew behind him now as well, and that really helps him. It's kind of like I would equate it to a hedge fund manager, and he's got all these Harvard business students like helping him out, digging into the data as well and presenting him with information. So a really cool situation. We're really fortunate to have the team that we do now at this point in time. So, and also he actually wants to take the time to go through the mounds of data each and every day. Unlike myself, I'd rather, you know, read a book, you know, work out, maybe go on a run, lift some weight, something, anything other than go through mounds of data, like a bunch of guesswork, testing stuff, as well as, you know, sitting in the lab coat, effing with a bunch of sites. So really fortunate to have the opportunity to work with him, and it has exponentially helped our campaigns, the amount of work he's been putting in. So who in here, show of hands, wants to see this 3-step, we've broken it down into 3 steps, luckily, repeatable process that will help you, 1, stop the leak, 2, turn your site around, and 3, catapult you to new all-time traffic and revenue highs? Give me a yeehaw. I haven't had the questions open. It looks like we have quite a bit of activity. Give me a yeehaw, though.
Or just yeehaw's always good, dude.
Yeah, yeehaw, bros. Or just slam your head on the keyboard. I don't care. Just don't break
Make a caveman grunt.
Yeah.
There
we go. Kazi did it. Yeah. Beep, beep.
Beep, beep.
Yeah, just like Roadrunner. So, yeah, let's get to it. So, first, like I said, test. You know, we don't do the single variable testing. What Mike is doing is real world testing. He'll take something, show it to me, and then, you know, he and I can kind of implement that into our campaigns, and then we know right away, within reason, if it works. So since December, he and I have been able to recover hundreds of sites across a plethora of different avenues: agency, PPL, affiliate, and honestly, 2020 and 2021 have been our best years ever as far as client and PPL goes. We make a minute amount of money from the courses and everything, and that's what we've said since the beginning. If the course stuff ever gets bigger than the actual us doing it in real life, then we need to just quit, because then we're gurus. So luckily, we're well beyond that with especially PPL and client work. So, but we've recovered hundreds of sites, agency, PPL, and affiliate, in a number of different and sometimes extraordinarily tough, just like that phrase is, to say, niches. All with a few small tweaks and very little. We really don't have any capital. The only capital invested is from our clients, right?
Usually, yeah, dude. I mean, usually everything paid for. I mean, I don't know. I've always bootstrapped, and once you get to a certain point, it all pays for itself, right?
Once you get used to bootstrapping, it becomes easier and easier, in my opinion, especially with this stuff. When you're making small tweaks, minor tweaks that are relatively easy to implement, you just have to know what to do, then it gets very, very cheap. And I like my women like I like my SEO. cheap and easy. So
I'm loving right now watching the people that are budget low just destroying it right now because they're listening to what they're supposed to be doing and stuff. You know, it's actually really cool to see. Reminds me of like starting out again.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, the biggest pushes we've ever seen have been the lowest cost.
Yeah, dude. So. I mean, and it's relative. I mean, the revenue is relative to the spend, of course, but it's pretty amazing how it can flow up.
900% increases in probably one of the top 1 or 2 toughest niches. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So here's our warning. Results are not typical. You might not be able to do what we do. Mike, of course, has been doing it for a while. I've been doing it for a while, just not quite as long. And we're both pretty efficient at crunching the data, implementing, and figuring stuff out relatively quickly. But I can say with 100% certainty, something is always better than nothing. And you will achieve absolutely zero if you do not try. So don't get upset if you go out and apply the stuff and you're not seeing the 500, 900% increases in traffic in like a week or a month or whatever. Don't get discouraged, just incremental, and we'll talk about this a little bit later on, but incremental changes, incremental increases really pay dividends down the road. So
hugely.
All right, so here is a preview of the 3 steps to recovery and beyond. Step 1 is analyzing. You want to find those holes and plug them as fast as possible. Step number 2, refresh your toolbox. Use what actually works. Nothing more, nothing less. Do not spend time, money, and effort on the wrong shit. Bottom line, because 100 miles.
I would say that's probably one of the biggest issues I see with people right now is that they're basing everything on the wrong shit.
Yeah, they've got more. I see people, they just keep adding tools on, not the right tools. And they've got more shit on their belt than Batman at this point, and they need to just let it go. And then step number 3, which Mike said number 2 is important, but I honestly think continuous optimization is important because it's so cheap to implement. It's just, like I said, tweaks, and the right tweaks are going to provide you with exponential growth when you do them. So again, why freshness for freshness sakes? Freshness for freshness sake sucks. Can you tell Mike wrote that line? Because I can. But you get the point.
Freshness for freshness sakes really fucking does suck.
It does. Yeah, don't just go out and, I mean, I see this in everyone does it. But like in business, in SEO, and everything, you feel like you need to be doing something all the time. So you just do all this shit. I'm going to go revamp this. I'm going to go redesign this site. I'm going to go do this just so I feel busy. I'm not.
You know what else sucks?
The shit that really moves the needle. What's that?
Evergreen content for the sake of evergreen content sucks as well. Just as fucking bad, dude.
Well, that's a good way to see a spike in traffic and then have it gradually
dude,
over time. But yes, I agree 100%. So this is where Mike is going to take over for a bit. Step 1, analyze and plug the holes. And how many memes are we up to so far? I haven't even been counting.
I'm not counting. I was proud of this document. I like this one though.
Do you know how hard I had to look for this one? It was difficult.
I bet this one was a pain in the ass.
Yes.
And so I want to talk about what happened on the 26th when we talked about analyze and plug the holes, right?
As in 3 days ago?
Yeah, as in 3 days ago. Like with it's been happening, but it rolled out deeply. And so one thing to understand with this is when we talk about these updates that are happening continuously, they are happening continuously, especially in the USA, right? No counting dudes, Holly. No counting dudes. Not fair. She's counting me saying dude, so it's distracting.
Bro.
These updates have been happening continuously. I've been seeing a lot of the stuff that we're seeing roll out like through these cores for, there's people in here, they're in certain markets that will see these as well, 8 months, 6 months, 12 months, whatever it is, before everyone else starts to see this shit. But they're indicators of what is coming and what is going on. And some of the big issues are that when you start missing what they're doing and you're not paying attention to the right information at the right time of your process, is that all these things compound. And so on the 26th, we had the link spam update, right? They rolled out a third link spam update in 30 days or whatever that we had announced, okay? And what people don't realize is that they got really good, the algorithm got really good at doing some things that they were using the manual team to do, right? And so those things tie into holes on your website and on the pages in your backlink profile. So when you don't understand the data that is driving the queries that your website is actually in and where you're generating your money, then you're going to start leaking traffic because of all these different little algorithms that are getting wrapped up into what they call Google MUM. It's multimodal search. It's essentially just a bunch of freaking algorithms working together in a multimedia way to just make search better, essentially. And at the same time, to make us have an opportunity. Because if you know what's going on and you see what's happening and you have the right tools, you absolutely have the benefit over 90% of people doing SEO out there right now. So if you see any sort of query drop that's not just flux, and you are not looking at why that is, where that is, and what's in your tiered profile, meaning on page and off page, you're going to continuously leak this traffic. Brad, can you jump back to that one graph?
The one downward one
at the top for the loss. This here, you can take this back and you can see this same graph in almost any industry that we have. Back to 2019, you will see the same drops. Back to Medic, right? Back to when they really started taking this direction. People started leaking traffic that they're continuing to leak today that they have never plugged and they don't understand how to stop from happening. So these graphs are huge opportunities for you for new revenue on your websites, off of your websites. But at the minimum, you need to be paying attention to these holes to maintain the current revenue. And that site there is a site that I think was doing like a 900K and is doing like 50 or 175K right now. And it is recovering now. It is doing better now, and it's going to continue to go up. SEO it changes all the time, but the one thing that doesn't change is that it constantly changes. And if you are not paying attention and not collecting data, you are losing money constantly. It doesn't matter where in your tier structure you are. So the big drive home tonight is when we get into talking about where to get the data, where to look at it, is that you need to be looking constantly at what's happening, not just when there's an update. People go back and look when there's an update. They go back and do something when there's an update. And it's just not something that is beneficial to your business or your generational wealth in the long run, right?
So you're saying everyone should be proactive in analyzing.
Absolutely.
Continuously analyzing.
I'm interested if anyone in here has any of these graphs, because actually I know there's some people in here that have some of these graphs. But if we don't know you and you have some of these graphs, there's some very particular things to look at, and we'll just kind of give that really quick as what to analyze without getting deep into the process and deep into what has to happen continuously. You need to be looking at your internal structures, and I think right here, looking at the basis of where you're making money on who's buying. So number one, your persona that you're actually selling to for the piece of content you're analyzing, and is that content commercial? Is that content commercial? Is that content informational? And it is absolutely important how your content relates to your query intent or the context of the query, and how that query relates to your journey. There are so many factors they're taking into consideration. They're taking we'll name a few things. We know that your direct traffic is affecting it. We know that your referral traffic is affecting it. We know that all these different factors that come in and let Google build a profile of a user in a website are affecting how your content ranks, right? And that's why we have people like Holly around us that are doing really cool things, and that we do a lot of similar stuff to. And the information that gets out for that is really important, because when you have these ways to generate content, generate traffic that facilitate that part of your journey for your user, meaning like this content group is about key lime pies, right? It's about it's a recipe on how to make key lime pie.
Yeah, it's
right?
My favorite.
And, or on the same site, it's about a location where you can go buy key lime pies, or it's about spices, or buying key lime pies online. And it really affects your cannibalization and your traffic pool, because I'll tell you, you can rank your website with 3 of those pages in the freaking same result in the top 10. We can take top 3 for 3 different types of intents for that topic, right? You can come in and start to stake all this real estate from your competitors if you understand the data properly, if you understand where the motivation behind your users are. If you don't, right now, you're building completely wrong. And I will say 90% of you in here are doing it wrong right now. I promise you, I've looked at so much data from people that are really good SEOs, people that are new SEOs. Everyone's making the same mistakes. Everyone's missing the same money constantly. So understanding the person buying and understanding how your content relates to them and the query is 100% something that you should look at continuously all the time and never stop doing it. Okay?
Should they look at it should they look at it, Mike, from a conversion standpoint, or just a general content standpoint? What do you think?
Both. I'm going to say the money is always important, but from a content standpoint, the whole point of this here is, there was a post on Facebook that I responded to, right? And it said, is Google making updates to make money, right? Do they do updates to make money? The obvious answer is, of course they do. They make money by making sure that people are happy when they use their platform, whether it's paid or organic, right? So they're always going to make changes that facilitate a contextual experience for the user at that time. So when one user comes in, and they have some amazing predictive search capabilities right now. So when a user comes in and they search for a pizza at 6 a.m., Google might deliver them a set of results that literally are about recipes. But if they come back at a time where they're typically searching for food, and this is where their profile shows that their behavior is.
Mike, how many pizzas have you made at 6 a.m.?
Exactly, right? No, that's my point. It's informational in the morning. At lunchtime, they might deliver more of a commercial or a organic type result, a blended result. And this is why blended search is doing so well, and there's so much money in blended results right now, and blended pages or blended sites, because of this shit directly, right? In Payday, it's just like the blended stuff that's up we have is just murdering it with like 2 different local sections per site and shit, right? And this is because Google is taking steps to understand when someone searches, what they're looking for, and how like the when and the what ties together. And if you don't believe that they can look at this, you have a lot of like catching up to do, because they absolutely are making these calculations. They're doing it now in the SERPs. They've recently modified the actual markup of the SERP in certain places. And it's a foreshadowing of what I think is going to happen outside of personalized search. I'm starting to see some of it slip into organic, right? We have someone in there that blended is bringing in a few thousand calls for. Dude, blended is worth millions, if not, billions of dollars. Like, no joke. Blended is huge. When I mentioned the key lime pie, that's not a fucking example that I pulled out of my ass. That's a campaign, right? That is ranking 7 slots on page 1 because cannibalization is understood and everything is being done correctly with the systems that we use, right? And the processes that we use. And so if you're not doing that, like opportunities, I get into a consultation with a student, and we're looking at a multi-million-dollar month business, and I literally look and I see like an angle no one's even noticed that they're not taking advantage of. And they're in a restricted market that some people in here are in, but they have a listing, right? They have a couple brick and mortar businesses. They don't talk about this on their damn website. It's separated completely, right? And so they don't understand that half of these queries that they're like sitting down on position 64 averages for are local intent, man. They have people that are like, there's ways to look and see, okay, is this like geared over towards someone looking locally, or is it geared over towards somebody here? And it's not, I'm not talking about looking at the SERPs. I'm talking about there's very specific ways to see how Google is pushing out their information gain algorithms and determine how you need to target a query, right? Well, these types of opportunities are being missed by like 90% of people out there. And so there's millions of dollars left on the table because they're not understanding the context of the query and how their content and their ability to create content ties directly into that part of that journey and that context there for that query and stuff. So I hope I've driven it home that you really need to be paying attention to this on a regular basis. This also pertains to when you start a campaign. If you don't understand who and why and where before you start the campaign, you are leaving money on the table before you even build links, because you will generate revenue with your content if you do this properly with the right tools, the right data. You're making money just having the website up before you start building links, before you start dropping tons of GMBs, whatever your tactics are to make your strategy up. You're missing something if you're not doing it from this point and not using this as your starting point for everything you do on your website.
Awesome. Did you cover content to QI?
Yeah, that is the how the content relates to the query intent or the context.
Gotcha. Awesome. Awesome. I just wanted to make sure. Awesome. So is that clear? Any questions so far?
Drop them in here. I mean, people are saying they're utilizing the blended stuff. I really mean it. Blended, if you have opportunity to blend right now, dude, you have so much money you can pull in that you're not pulling in if you're not doing it. You should be in there 2 or 3 times right now if for a single query, if that's how if you have the opportunity to utilize blended.
Awesome. Awesome. So step 2, refresh your toolbox. And I was a little disappointed. This isn't really a meme, but it worked. I was just looking for an old toolbox. Couldn't find one that was funny. So you're just going to have to laugh at this crap. So refresh your toolbox, Mike. What can people do? What are they wasting time and effort on?
I think does the next slide have that? Yeah, there we go. A lot of the tools out there that people are using, like Surfer and a lot of these various tools, people don't realize that a lot of these are just scrapers, right? And that's what they should be. They should be scrapers. But a lot of them are, I should say, a lot of them are just API driven, meaning they're pulling out like Google's entity API. They're optimizing based on what Google's telling them from an API or what something else like Data for SEO's API is doing, which is a sure way to get a nice initial ranking and then take all your traffic down the line the next time they rescore that update or they rescore that query. I see it constantly. People come and say, well, Surfer this, or conversion AI this, or this and that, blah, blah, blah. And you'll see the patterns, the same thing with the graphs where there's some initial like wins and then like everything just drops off because they're not understanding that a lot of the tools in the market right now have nowhere near enough data. And that's the big point. If you're just pulling from API and you're just pulling from something that's topic focused, you're missing out on 3/4 of your revenue pretty easily by utilizing just those tools.
If the tools are not doing their own math, writing their own algorithms, you think that's where they're missing out, or do you think it's just they're not pulling enough data?
They're not pulling enough data, man. And here's the thing: there's a reason we say use things like Quora. And put it into Keyword Cupid and use certain things, and it's because there are certain ways people are pulling data. There's certain things people are doing to gather that data and then using the right calculations at the end with the math that are way superior to what other people are doing. And I'll tell you, looking at Quora versus, Keyword, Quora is a scraper, right? This is something where like Quora, which gathers 100 results, if you know how to use a scraper that has that much data, then you have data that you can use to make these things work, right? If you're grabbing something like Surfer, grabbing something like some of the other tools that are out there that are grabbing 3 out of 10 freaking results, they're grabbing not enough data, right? What I was trying to say when I said Quora, I was talking about cognitive SEO. Cognitive SEO, when you go out and people use it wrong, right? They go and use all the tools. They go and pull the focus keyword list. They do this, or they score their content based on it. That's not where it works. Where it works is in the little list at the end on the content page where you grab that little export that says use this more, use this. they have math in there that is superior to other math. They pull more data than other people. And that's why when we see that, when I've seen directly something like Surfer optimized versus something that's optimized with the processes we use, you're talking about ranking for a couple hundred keywords versus 1,000 keywords if you don't have the right data, right? The big problem people are having right now is that they're basing their decisions and their process on data that is just insufficient, that just doesn't. And so I'm not bashing on Surfer. I don't have anything against Surfer. It's one that everyone knows. Surfer's one that comes up a lot because I see people using it a lot. So I'm able to see people having issues with Surfer more than some of the lesser known things. But there's a comment in there about SERPs. When I say the markup in the SERPs are changing, this is very important. The SERPs are where your data should come from. If your tools are not scraping and pulling enough data and doing the right calculations, then your tools are keeping you at a handicap that sucks, and you're down before you start. It's a simple pattern to see when people just go and pull one or two tools. They pull one of the wrong tools, or two or three of the, or they just pull one good tool. They pull two or three tools that are they will miss out on traffic and revenue. There's no question they will miss out on it. It's happening constantly right now, which is a good thing for us because it means we can do it better than other people. There's one person in here out of the comments that I look at that looks like they're doing it right, you know, and if you're not pulling your data, you don't know how much data you're getting out of the search, you don't understand where your data is coming from, you really need to reevaluate the tools that you're using. And this is not something that has necessarily changed recently. The best tools have always come from SERP data. What I want people to understand, we talked about all this shit that Google can do, all these things that they can track, all this data that they have. We cannot recreate that with an API or our own tools, our own gut, and our own calculations, right? We have to use their data. The only way we can really use their data is by going and using Google. There's a nifty little trick, and I don't know if there's a way. I wonder if we should show how easy. Maybe we'll do this tomorrow. I'm not prepared for it tonight, but I think maybe we'll do it tomorrow. But I can go out and I can get a 100% score or an 80, 90% score on any content score within 30 seconds without writing content. And when you can do that and you understand why you can get those types of scorings out of all these tools, then you understand what you need to use on your pages. Even using like the AI rewriters, right? Going in and using Conversion AI, going in and using any sort of GPT-3 tool. It doesn't matter which version, if you're Neo 3, 2, whatever it is. If you just go in and use that, you're going to make problems for yourself. If you don't understand how to pull the data out of Google and what to rewrite where and how to structure that, then you're going to use these tools and you're going to take content that would have worked really well for you if you just copied it and make it worse, right? So it would be better for you to just copy shit than use the wrong tools. So this is a huge thing that is an issue for people right now. There's a lot of misinformation going out there. There was a
there's misinformation to sell tools, right?
What's that?
I said there's misinformation in order to sell tools.
Oh, absolutely. And there's misinformation all over in other ways too. Like you got people talking about case studies that use all these awesome tactics to make pages rank and make sites rank for 30,000 visitors, without any backlinks. And what's sad is like when I see this kind of stuff, I can go in and I can show you the link profiles they're using and then they're hiding behind all this shit. Like what I really would like another thing people to take away from today is everyone's fucking trying to lie to you to sell you something, really. Like there's a lot of that going on. And when you hear people saying, I'm doing this without links, I'm doing this without all of this shit, they're not telling you the truth at all. Like there's a big one that came out. There's a big case study everyone got all bonerified on and sent around to everybody about a month and a half ago. I'm sure people know which one I'm talking about. It's complete bullshit. That's powered by what you need to have in your SEO, which is links. Your backlink profile should be powered by the same shit we're talking about here. When you do this properly, you can read between the lines on these. the power isn't necessarily in the link at that point. The power is on page, even though the link profile is there. So don't fall for the whole like, oh, just do this nonsense and you'll rank without backlinks, so you'll rank without this and that. That is not true. It won't be true ever. Okay. They changed the way they calculate things. They changed it pretty drastically on the 26th for people in countries that aren't the US, because they're not used to what we're used to over here. The shit that they rolled out worldwide has cost people like 80% of their revenue over the last week. Like, a lot of freaking people are hurt right now that are white hat because they followed stuff that was supposed to be legit. Now Google changes their mind. It's not nearly as bad as when Penguin rolled, but it's the similar type of thing where if you're doing something gray hat, you're better off than someone not, right? So just be smart about your SEO right now, and make sure that your processes are locked down, that you're focusing on like where the money is for your users. You're gathering the right data that is focused on your users. When you're gathering this data right this way, you are gathering data that's focused on that persona and customer journey that is going to make all of your SEO, including your content and your link building, easier for you. And I will tell you, you can go out and use shit like traffic. And I'm not talking about CTR, bots, and all this crap. You do this, you move things around contextually right, you will rank pages without doing a damn thing on page or off page. And that's like why it's so important to understand that process. Yeah. You say something, Brad?
No, I did not. I was listening intently. Yeah.
I'm done ranting.
Yeah. Well, just so you know, Holly says white hat always makes her giggle. So everyone.
White hat is hilarious, dude.
Yeah, it is funny.
It doesn't really exist. I mean, I say it that it's funny. Everyone is quote unquote white hat.
It's good for large agents.
Their first quote unquote white hat lose 80% of its income because they didn't do anything wrong, right? So I knew some really serious like people like in my family that are in SEO that were like all about going in and turning people in for their nonsense. So I never talked SEO, but showed them any of my shit. And you know, about 4 years after having conversations about how they love turning people in and this is not fair to do in the SERPs, their asses are doing the same thing because they just lost all their freaking money because they tried to be white hat, you know? And then they come over and say, oh, how are you doing SEO, you know? So.
What's your tool choice? Mark is asking.
Choice for on page is Cognitive. All Cognitive does for you, it doesn't do on page for you. It never has. I think people have always misunderstood.
It's content scoring, so it's part of on page.
Content scoring portion is not something I pay attention to. I don't pay attention to content scores, but their export list of their focus keywords, the one that takes the focus keyword list that has in their keyword assistant and ties it into the content score, there's a little export button that no one ever notices. When you pull that out based on the page you're analyzing, ignore the score if you want. There's one part in that score that says you've used 26 out of 68 or whatever number words that you should use. I continuously see people that are doing a decent job of SEO come in, doing what Surfer had told them to do or what another tool had told them to do, and they've only used 20 out of those 70 keywords. And when they implement the list I told them to implement, then now they start to see huge percentage increases in traffic and revenue, right? And
yeah, so, that's by far my favorite part of Cognitive because it makes it easy and you can train your content writers to go in. So say you get a new client that has a lot of existing content. Very first thing, day one, is I'm going to run a crawl of their site, get all of their pages prepared, delete anything that I don't want deemed necessary to go through with Cognitive, and hand that to my content writer and say, determine the primary keyword and go through this with Cognitive, and then highlight it as you do. And then as they do it, I'll go in like chunks of 10, 20 pages at a time if it's a larger site, and I'll try and get those re-indexed. And when they finish everything, I will go in and I will resubmit sitemaps and hope for the best. And that's where we see the 100, 200% gains within a month or two.
There's a website that the person doing it for us kept doing all this over-analyzation and trying to use these content tools and on-page tools. And I told him, I said, look, if you're doing anything more than going out and determining exactly what headers you need and what your title should be and what content you should use and the structure of that content inside of those different paragraphs, when you launch the new article, like you're doing too much work, right? When you do things like that, when you go over and you overthink it at the beginning, you're not in a process that I think is optimal for your revenue. And that's why we're talking about this stuff tonight, is the end result and the process of when and how to do things to save time and to save money that make additional money for you down the line, right? So any content tool that you have access to that is pulling solid data, I don't care if it's telling you how to do all your on page and how many bolds you need here, how many bolds you need there. It's overanalyzing for you, and you're thinking about it too much at certain points of this process, in my opinion.
Well, the key, in my opinion, is to make sure it gets indexed, see where it lands, and then go back and optimize from there, like you just said. So that's what we do. Are we ready for step 3, Mike?
Yeah, we can jump in there.
All right.
Cool. I don't remember what it is.
So, we'll figure it out, won't we? It's optimization. It's the O in SEO. But before we get to it, when you start combining steps 1 and 2, step 1 is analyze and plug the holes, especially in the midst of a downturn or these perpetual updates. You need to be able to do that quickly. When you combine that with having the proper tool set and being able to utilize that tool set optimally, when you combine those two, you're able to focus on what really matters and reverse the traffic loss at a much more rapid pace than you were before. This allows you and us to streamline absolutely everything. Like we said, we have a team now that we've been able to put in place that have, we can just streamline the process, hand it over to them, and they take care of everything. But you can streamline everything and become much more nimble as you're continuously battered with this barrage of incessant updates. I must have read something before I wrote that.
Yeah, you must have been reading J. Abrams or something, bro.
Yeah, something. Yeah, I think that's relatively well written. Slam your head on the keyboard if you think that's a proper sentence.
I'm going to say what I think. Or I'll type what I think, I guess.
So step 3, on to ongoing optimization, the O in SEO, the constant tweaking. And I like the thought of optimization versus innovation. Optimization is where you tweak what you have. You're ongoingly kind of testing and tuning your current processes, your current content, your current linking structures. That's optimization. And then once you have that done, once you have that down, then you can move on to innovation and building more sites and adding to your network. So, but on to optimization. Mike, what are your thoughts?
There's this feedback loop, this ranking loop, like this optimization loop is where everyone freaking like drops the ball and falls off, right? Like
you think it's because they get lazy?
Everybody, but the majority of people that I talk to, if you remember the graph, like if you want to jump back onto that graph real quick and then come back to 21, I want to show that.
Oh, let me scroll all the way up here. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
thing.
Dude, I like watching you do it, bro.
Yeah.
Right here, there's other ones that you'll see that'll go up right before the updates and then drop back down. Like they'll start to gain and then they'll drop again. And so we didn't have one, and don't think we threw one in here, but like where you see the first, or I would say the second, third, and fourth cores right there. All of them, actually pretty much all of them, but let's just stay back to December 20 right now for the December core. You'll see people a lot of the times they had a steady increase, and then like they get into December core, they go up like right before it, they drop right after it. Then they start to kind of go back, steady a little bit higher, and then the core comes in and they started to increase. With that increase, they're slowly going up. Then they drop again right afterwards, right? And what a lot of these trends are coming out to being, and after talking to people, after seeing my own sites, after optimizing on campaigns with people, I would say, again, like 80 to 90% of people are putting content up. They're trying to tune it from the beginning, and then they're walking away from that content, and they're not coming back in and actually using an optimization or feedback loop. And it's a feedback loop because of what we talked about already. The data that is going and pumping into Google right now, they are changing things rapidly. I will say like rapidly, to the point where multiple times a day you'll see markets shift, right?
I mean, I feel like this is a pretty good visualization. Like, look how spread out the initial two are, and then between 2 and 3. But then 3, 4, 5, 6. You know, it's like boom, 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 and that's the perpetualism
around April to August last year, Google made a shift in direction. Like, they fired a lot of people, they hired people, and there's a new director that has very, very particular history when it comes to his inventions and different things he's done in the past. And if you haven't seen his Google I/O talk about how Google Mum works, how the group of algorithm and what the future for Google is, like, one of the examples is they want you to be able to like be walking and you have a thought that you want to climb Himalayan mountains, right? And you got your sneakers on, just got them dragging. You take a picture of that, and then you speak into the phone, hey, Google, okay, Google, are these shoes, are these sneakers, are these shoes okay to climb the Himalayas in? And they want to be able to return the answer to that question right there off of the media that you submit, meaning the voice and the imagery, tie that together and you have video, right? And so the fact that they're rolling this stuff out is, and his direction and where he wants to take things, and how he's fired certain people that are heavy on AI and hired other people that are heavier in certain areas. It's shown a shift in value and direction, and the data backs it up, okay? The data backs it up, and then when you take the data and you look at what they've been writing for the past 20 years when it comes to patentry and all this stuff. I like the word patentry. It's a new word tonight.
I like the word feedback loop in here twice. That's awesome.
Yes, I did, because it's a loop.
I see what you did there.
So like, really though, like, they are taking a direction where they're building your profile. They understand what you're doing. Like, I can show you how, based on one Google account and different devices, they understand how to personalize that device significantly. I can also show you 3 different devices without any accounts associated, how they can start to associate it with certain profiles and start to rank things based on the profiles without logged in. They can personalize search continuously in a very nice manner already without you being logged into an account. Like, you do not, if you have not looked at, I would suggest having at least one device that you use as a real person, and you watch what they are able to tell about you and what data they're sharing with you inside of your activity. When you go and use anything that they are a part of, whether that is Edge, whether that is Brave, whether that is Chrome, whether that is Android, whether that has been Apple, whether that has been anything that they're involved with, where they have access to information, they are collecting that data and they are building profiles for people, for websites, right? And so if they have data like that, they have to continuously update to the newest shit that they can put out, and they have to have the processing power, they have to have the map capability to utilize that data. And that's what they're doing with this multimodal stuff, right? They are starting to tie in like multimedia. They're starting to tie in video, imagery, and everything a lot tighter together. And what you will notice, I've heard people say it, I've seen people write about it in like the news for SEO, is that, oh, well, you know, this is weird how this changed the image and video in search, and all of this all at one time with this update, or when there's this volatility in the search. And this is what they've been rolling out. So like, when they did the first live test that they talked about, I think it was 800 alternative names for the vaccine for COVID that they identified in a very, very short period of time. Like, I believe it, I'm not going to quote this because I can't remember exactly, but it was days, if not a day, if not a week, you know, somewhere around there. They are able, with the data that they actually went in and looked at, I'm not saying that was a live call, by the way. So they're able to, they understand language extremely well. They understand your activity, and they can predict based on that activity. They can deliver based on that activity. So when they're able to do this, no tools that are using APIs, no tools that are using a topic data. They've even stated they're using the common crawl data, right? If you didn't know, you can go and grab the common crawl data that has the scrape of the freaking internet that Google uses to make decisions with. But they use that and then they clean it up the way they want to clean it up with all of their algorithms, and then they use it in search. So even taking that database, even taking that data there, commoncrawl.org, I believe is the website, even if you take that and try to change it, you're still behind. If you had an API that took that data, made all this on-page suggestion for you, you're still behind because you're not using their data. Again, the only way to get their data is to go in and scrape it. So before you get into the search, before you're in the search, and before you see how they're treating your data, you don't have a really good basis to continue to grow your site on. That's why it's important to get this stuff up the right way the first time with the right tools, and then come back in and in a week or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month, whatever you can do, whatever your scripts are set up for, your time is set up for. If you have clients, this is the selling point. This is revenue. You are an analyst. You are an SEO analyzer. You're an SEO analyst. You optimize websites. This is what you need to be doing for your and your client's site. Go back out, scrape the data, use the data to re-optimize your pages. That right there gets us to the consistent, we're consistent to the persona and stage. That's just a gut check. Like, does this make sense for my website? If I'm selling, blue widgets or whatever, but I can't make any money about DIY blue widgets or hand making blue widgets, and I don't sell handmade blue widgets, I might not want to have handmade or DIY on my freaking website. I might make a problem for myself and now shoot myself in the foot and have 80% relevancy, 80% relevancy to something I'm trying to get 100 on because I've used the wrong phrases, I've used the wrong words, right? And so when we scrape that SERP data, we have a situation where, take remote controlled cars or radio controlled cars. If I have one or the other on my website, I might rank really well for remote controlled cars and not as well for radio. But now if I put in RC cars on my website, right, now I might rank better for both of those, right? Because now they've associated that. That's the topical part. Makes sense to have that there from a topical standpoint, right? So I'm analyzing the search for that topic, seeing what words are mentioned there, and also checking this against a blacklist. If you don't have a topic exclusion or a sort of blacklist to check your content against, you are kind of missing out on opportunity, or you're at best shooting yourself in the foot because you will not catch all of this by gut. I promise you can't catch everything by gut. I don't know anyone in the world that can catch what they should catch by gut 100% of the time, because you don't have implicit knowledge of every market out there. So you are missing out on opportunity by leaving things on your website or on your page, right? And so fragmentation is directly related to that topic exclusion. And when you come to fragmentation, there's only really one tool that I know that does a really good job of this. And fragmentation basically ties into cannibalization. If you have a page that is fragmented, a cluster that is fragmented, then you're getting traffic, you're getting at least impressions and visibility for pages on queries where you're dampening your ability on the pages that should be, or you're just dampening yourself overall because now you're relevant for some stuff you shouldn't be relevant for, and you need to fix it. And to make this very clear, it's very possible to go into a local market and use a few images to tank someone else's website. It's very possible to go into an organic market and do some creative topic inclusion to now start to screw with a brand and take their traffic. And
that's all skewing the entity, essentially, is what my
you can screw the entity and you can screw the topic. It's like if I have a bunch of friends and we all run like Forbes and we all run these topically relevant sites for something unrelated to your business and some stuff related to your business, well, I can now send some stuff that's not related to your business as a link, and then I can send some stuff from that's something related to your business that says potentially like, don't use these guys because now my anchor text there sends some context over to your website that is unrelated to like the direct monetization of your website, and I can start to skew your ability to rank in those markets, right? So there's negative aspects to this stuff as well, and you need to understand that. That's why even though we say disavow is BS, don't pay attention, don't do this, we still disavow in some cases. There's reasons to disavow sometimes. If you know someone's skewing your topical relevancy, if you know someone's trying to skew your intent, you better take care of that if it's coming in mass, right?
Yeah.
And so in that feedback loop, when you gather that data, when you gather that exclusion data, you might have now a page or a group of pages that have started to rank for some terms that you do not necessarily think is the best place for it. And it might be time now to create a new page for that. So that works on your new pages, right? Now you start creating new pages there. You start putting in new pages to the cluster. You start putting in new pages to a new cluster. Create a whole new cluster if the intent's different and it warrants it, right?
It's a way to stop the attrition, and if you stop the attrition, then you're gonna exponentially grow that much faster. And also, when you start pulling those out and creating new content clusters, it's going to be a way to vastly expand the size of your network, your traffic, and your revenue. So one, stop the attrition. That's crucial, because that means any additional keywords that you get, it's just going to be that much better, that many more from a net perspective, as well as expanding your current keyword set and traffic set on your site. I mean, boiling step 1 and 3 down, that's what I would say. Step 2 is don't run 100 miles in the wrong direction. Don't spend days and weeks and months and possibly even years analyzing the wrong shit with the wrong tools, following the wrong people. Don't do that, so you can focus on step 1 and especially step 3. Mike, did I get that right?
Yeah, no, absolutely, dude. And I'm going to say especially step 4. Step 4, I think exclusion and fragmentation is like the main point where I'm not going to say no one pays attention to what shouldn't be on your page. Like they ignore it completely. I see this all the time. It's one of the reasons why we go in and we say we can make you another 40% on these campaigns for people, another 30% on these campaigns, is because we understand topic exclusion, we understand fragmentation, and nobody else is really focusing or using it as a sales tactic or using it to create new websites. Like I see people create new websites, send them over, say, it's not just doing as well as I thought. And they just got the wrong stuff on their pages, man. Like they literally don't understand where the money is for them. And they're talking about things that just don't have a place. And this is why, like, people say, well, don't blog on local because locals don't have blogs. No, don't blog on local because maybe you're going to screw up your relevance and your intent, dude.
It's like being in San Diego or trying to rank for San Diego plumber, San Diego HVAC, San Diego insert, niche here, and posting stuff about the San Diego Zoo. Is that what you're talking about?
Absolutely, dude. Like, what's the point? Unless like you're doing, like if you're talking about San Diego Zoo and you do HVAC and for some reason there's a business all over the zoo, like people call you from the zoo and need a new air conditioner, dude.
Like, damn it, Tom, I better get my HVAC fixed. Yeah.
I guess why would HVAC work on a car, right?
Yeah.
But you get my point. If it's not relevant to like making money, then you can understand, like, it's not relevant to Google because of the fact you are supposed to be an extension of how they make their money. Their users need to be happy with what you're doing, or else they don't even store your freaking pages in their freaking databases, because they'll just crawl and not index your ass if you're not freaking relevant. Like if they think you're a cost instead of a freaking way to make money, you're gone. Very simple stuff. Yep. And so
is this making sense to everyone? I just want to make sure, because it can be construed as a lot of information. That's why I keep trying to kind of crack in here and break it down. Is it making sense to everyone? Please post either yes or no, or ask a question, but we want to hear a response either way. If it's yes, if it's no, makes sense, whatever.
I want to make sure people understand the topic exclusion point. That's a super important point. The fragmentation, we're getting yeses, that's good. I think I'm in love. I love you too, Alex. I always love you, dude. All right, cool. We're getting yeses. If there are no's, come back tomorrow and message us as well. So
or hear it again, because Mike might say something completely different. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't ever know what the hell I'm going to say.
Yeah,
I make it all up. I make it all up like anytime I do anything, anyways.
Nah, you say it consistently enough to me that I think you know your shit. So
yeah, we'll see.
All right.
But so really quick before we jump on, the new pages and the rescoring. Once you get back into the SERPs, you have your new updates on your pages. You didn't do it because of freshness. You did it because there is a new keyword in the SERPs that's now being scraped out, and you see a new thing in the SERP. Now it makes sense to add it to that page or create a new page, right? Now you go back, do the period again, and do the same thing again. And yes, it applies to any website, local, it does not matter. This applies to hit those questions that are in there. This applies to any website you are working on. Even if you're in a static industry, if you are not reanalyzing, like you might realize that, okay, I don't need to check it but once every 6 months. And then in another spot, you might need to check it every freaking day, right? Like you can write scripts that update things properly on a regular basis. But in some local markets, you might not need to update it as much. If you're a directory, you damn well better be updating it, because if all of a sudden, like everyone else has these new businesses on their site that they're talking about that are hot in that market, and you're like a group of people that don't talk about the newer businesses, you're not going to rank as well. That's why that's like all these like big brands, it's tailored to big brands, it's tailored to large directories, it's tailored to this and that. There are reasons why it's tailored to this shit. There are reasons why fake authority loses to real authority, okay? And it's because real things tend to pay attention and care, right?
Well, they've got much larger staff on it. They have a lot more money to put into it, as opposed to a guy that's maybe just getting into SEO or starting up a new directory.
Well, my directory versus Yelp, people aren't going to come to me and add their own content to my directory, but they're going to do it for Yelp, right?
Yes.
You know, so
Yelp or any of the top citations, yeah. And if you're looking at it from Google's perspective, odds are Yelp or Yellow Pages or any of those larger directories that you see up there all the time, they're going to be higher quality from, you know, Google's perspective. You know, they've got it's a network effect. They've got a huge network of people in their databases, in their sites, and it makes sense. It's like the more people that join, the more powerful they get, because the more authority they yield. So.
And Parker said it right. It's not hard to get new business data. You can go insert it from like open corporates or do a scrape yourself, you know, of any other site or any other freaking crap. But what the point is if you're not
just because it's not hard doesn't mean people won't do it. Yeah. Exactly.
And awesome. The little bonus for tonight is about the expired domains. If you've seen it, expired domains will tend to, like a lot of people have come in, and there's a lot of issues with expired domains after the next update having a really big drop. Now it's actually it's rolled in a little bit faster there. And what that is about is going in and actually not changing the data properly or changing the data too quickly and changing the data in the wrong direction, okay? So this stuff directly impacts how powerful some of your expired domains can be for you. So if you are having issues with your expired domains, I really want you to look at this and how you're doing your process when you grab a domain and put it up. You have gold in there if you do it right. So pay attention to that for those of you in here that are utilizing those expired domains. And go ahead, Brad, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's all good. All right, I think everyone's clear. Shall we move on? Let's give a quick recap. So for the past hour, quickly, how does everyone like the info? Was the info helpful? Recapping, step one was quickly find and plug the holes ASAP to recover from / accelerate past penalties. Step two, properly trim / add to your current toolbox to avoid wasted time, effort, and money, so you do not end up running 100 miles in the wrong direction. And the third step was really, you need to continuously be analyzing your current site, like Mike said, at different paces, depending on, what you're doing. Like he said, directories, you're going to have to update it all the time. A mom and pop GMB based local site, probably maybe every 6 months to a year. Just collect that small premium off of them paying you every month. But but anyway, how's everyone liked it? Yes, no, great info. Yep, amazing stuff. Awesome. Yeah, awesome. I know Mike has been working continuously on this. I mean, I don't know how many months at this point, but not in preparation specifically for this webinar. But this is kind of the culmination of what he's found. And, you know, we've gone over some of the stuff in NFG Monthly, but really, I wanted to compile it and put it all together for everyone. So, yeah, great stuff. When you have to say you have to scrape the data.
Yeah, so Cora is, so here's the thing, like you can go out, like, and you got to be careful. That's why the processes are important. You go out and scrape the data from Cora, but you don't keep in mind that you're doing your clusters properly, and you start changing on page without thinking about how it all ties together. You might de-rank yourself. You might cause yourself more issues than not, okay? The cool thing about Cora is that it is a solid scraper with some good math behind it. And so that's one of the things that is a tool that you can use that can be beneficial to you. If you use it wrong, it can be negative for you. Anything can be negative for you. So just reiterating how good blended is, we're ranking national. Yeah, the blended stuff right now is ridiculous, man. It's a big part of the strategies that people should be using. It really is.
Awesome. So moving on, who would like to see all of this completely over the shoulder? Give us a yes, no, F you guys. What the hell are you talking about? Yes. All right, let's move on. What if we told you we had a little bit more for you? And then, Mike, I want to hear in your best Oliver Twist voice, please, sir. May I?
I'm hungry, Mommy. Yes, I really am. Please, sir. Come on. I'm hungry, Mommy. Here I am.
All right. So here's the big announcement. I think some of you guys knew this was coming, but you know, we've got NFG live in person. We didn't get to do it last year, unfortunately. So it's been since I think by the time it hits in September 30th through October 1st, it'll be very near within a day or so, 2 years since we did Anaheim with Dory a few years ago. So we're taking it back to Greensboro. We're taking over downtown this time. We're going to have, and I'll tell you a good reason for taking it back to Greensboro, because we did discuss other locations, but we got a very, very good reason, and I think some of you know it. So who's excited about NFG 2021? Post it.
Dude, I need to travel. I'm very excited.
Yes, exactly. So just a few things of what you're going to get with NFG 2021. We want to really over-deliver. So you're going to get the full, of course, membership Skype access. We have found since we did the very first event that Skype access, we still have activity pop up in the original one from 2016, which is
dude, it's turned into, honestly, this has turned into like,
that's like the first one is like Millionaires Club, to be honest.
Yep.
Yeah,
it is we don't call it that, but I'm telling you, the campaigns that everyone's doing together, the money that's coming through, and that's just from people making relationships, man. It's ridiculous, dude.
So we put a value on that. It's probably low, but 1,164. Advanced SEO tactics, all the stuff that Mike kind of covered tonight. It's going to be very in depth, very over the shoulder. We're going to put $19.97 price tag on that, and then what I think is the most important, what I'm most looking forward to, is the campaign structuring system that Mike has put together with a few other top SEOs that you might or might not have heard about. But I'm really looking forward to that, because once you have the campaign structure, the stuff that they've been able to unearth in some of the niches that I'm already in that I never would have thought about at all makes me very, very excited. So we're putting a $497 value on that. Total value is $3,658. So first off, who is this event for? It's for every mofo in this room, to be honest. It's for SEOs who want to learn some badass cutting edge stuff. Anyone looking to add additional revenue streams, that's what I always like to focus on. I always want someone to come away with at least one or two additional revenue streams without distracting them from their primary revenue source, which I think is a crucial step as well that a lot of people forget. Brand new and veteran SEOs, because of the amount of support and the level of tech SEO and data analysis that Mike is able to provide, it's perfect for if you're brand new, you can come get caught up and be well beyond 95+% of the SEOs out there. And if you're a veteran, you're going to pick up a ton of stuff. And
I want to reiterate, it's not a joke. Like, there's a very big reason we're doing it the way we're doing it this year, and it is because of all the issues I've seen people having that have come in. They know a little bit of SEO, they try to build businesses, or they start taking, or people hire people that know a little bit of SEOs. This stuff is not rocket science. It can be taught. It just needs to be taught in the right way with the right processes. And it really is 95% above the majority of people that we talk to in these industries, whether they're in this segment or another segment of SEO.
Yeah, we want you to make enough money and simplify the process enough to where you wake up and you can do what you want. I mean, everyone in here doing SEO is either planning on quitting a job or they've already quit their job, and you don't need another fucking job, right? So it's also for someone stuck at a certain level of income. We've seen, I mean, I can't count how many times people bump their heads on that 25 to 30,000 a month level. We want to blow you past that if you're there or wherever you're stuck. We see people get stuck at the $10,000 a month level.
Yeah, 10 to 30.
Yeah, I know I was stuck at 10 for quite a while, and just, you know, it's probably because I was comfortable. We want to push you well beyond where you're at right now. And of course, you know, lonely business owners. We've been freaking locked up with our families for the past year and a half. You know, let's get out. There's, you know, herd immunity at this point. Enough people have the shots. Wear your mask, come out to Greensboro and have a good ass time. You know, we're in the South, you know, so you can wear a mask or not, you know, doesn't matter. So when planning this event or any other event, we've really got two choices. We can go as cheap as possible. That's what I see a lot of people doing. That's what I've seen a lot of people do in the past. We could go as cheap as possible, you know, bare bones, fluffed up pitch fest for a cutthroat rate, like lower, like the only way to for people to sell it at some point is to just lower the price of it and hope that people come, I guess. And, you know, that's like cutting more and more calories when you're trying to lose weight, to be honest. It's not the right way to do things. And then shove as many people in there as possible. We want to take the second option. We want to take the you know, the opposite, you know, viewpoint on that. We want to cherry pick presenters and info. And the way that Mike has tied everything together in a singular system this year across all of the presenters is absolutely amazing. We want to devote a ton of time, resources into material and support and host an event that will actually help people make money. You can walk away with a process that is actually, you know what to do. If you don't know what to do by the end of this event, then fucking ask us, to be honest. So, because we're there, we're not just going to blow you off because, we didn't cheap out on the event. So again, here's what you're going to get: the full membership, Skype access, 1164, advanced SEO tactics, 1,997, next level campaign structure, valuing that at 497, national PPL hacking. This is what I'm extremely excited about. It's something that I've kind of developed over the last year. Who in here does GMB stuff? Just type a yes, no, why, in, just anything on the keyboard. Yes, yes, yes. How many GMB sweeps have affected everyone out there? Only national. That's awesome, Parker Nelson. Yeah. So for anyone doing GMBs, even if you think you're mentally prepared to lose, because you're like, I'm going to lose all these at some point, it still freaking stings,
When you lose a few thousand, it's
yeah.
I've had some, there's tears sometimes.
Yeah, a few tens of thousands. So yes, the way around that is going national PPL. You can do that in certain niches. We know the niches that it works in, and we can show you that. Because honestly, if you rank for, if you just try and rank for water damage restoration San Diego or terms like that, just in organic without getting a GMB, you're going to have to pump out a bunch of listings and you're going to get hit and not be able to index those pages. But if you pick the right niches, the right keywords within those niches, the right campaign structure, you're going to be able to pull in traffic that is going to convert. So national PPL hacking, 1997 probably isn't high enough, but that's where we're going to keep it for now.
Does that include making money with your citations, bro? If you're not making money with citations, you're screwed at this point, is my thought.
I sent you that screenshot, right?
Yeah, dude.
That's one. That's
no,
one.
I say that I'm jesting or whatever, but joking. But it's true. Like if you're doing these things correctly, you're making money everywhere in what you're creating, and you shouldn't be wasting time creating things that aren't making you money.
Exactly. So tiered linking system layout. Mike and the team have been working a ton with tiered link building. We probably have reduced our cost, to almost zero at this point, right, Mike? So we can pump it out. We know what works. We know, when to hit the nitro button. So you're going to get that 547 value. Auto publish site hacks, my wet dream. Where you've just got sites out there building themselves, ranking themselves. You can go back and optimize them if you'd like, but if you don't want to, just build more sites and more content, to be honest. But we're going to put that at 4,997, and then we always have a silver bullet that we do not disclose before the event. That is always worth its weight in gold, but we're going to put a value on that at 997, bringing the total value up to 12,196 if I did my math right. And we got some bonuses here. We've got our private, never before released, never will be released auto-published site creator plugin. This is something that we've developed. It's what, version 1.79 or something like that, Mike?
Version 1.79 of iteration freaking 30,000 or something.
Yeah, exactly. So it's our private tool. We're going to be handing it out to everyone that joins us at the event. Put a 997 value in it. We've got way more than that in there, especially when you consider the time and effort that we've put behind it. So 997 value there. Bonus number 2, you're going to get 6 months of NFG monthly and a lifetime of WTT, Web Traffic Takeover, where we did that with Steve, and we did Facebook and mass traffic and a lot of cloaking.
When you see the system this year, you're going to want the access there for some of the stuff that people forget has been around for a long time, that works extremely well.
It's funny because we still see people popping up and talking about the stuff that they're still using from WTT, especially as far as cloaking and directing traffic and those uses there. Very cool stuff. So putting a 582 value on that, I just took NFG monthly and the price of it and multiplied it by 6. So it's a real number. SEO system access. This is our PHP plugin that we put to auto link to the sites. You get that lifetime access, I believe, and we're putting the value on that at $6,000, and that is a very real number. We did there's a reason why it's exactly 6,000. It's because I plugged it into a calculator and that's what I got out. So if I can do math, it's a $6,000 value, and I can do math. So bonus 4, Jordan and I, a year, maybe 18 months ago, put together PPL Academy, Paper Lead Academy. We never released it, but everyone's going to get PPL Academy and all of the upsells for $527 value, but you're going to get it for free if you choose to come to the event. So breaking it all down with the bonuses: full membership, Skype access, $1164, advanced SEO tactics, putting that at $1997, on-page trickery tactics, $497, PPL national hacking combined with GMBs, putting that at $1997, power linking done the right way with tiers properly, putting that at $547, national systemizing that with plugins, $49.97. The Silver Bullet, $9.97. Auto Site plugin that we created in-house at $9.97. NFG and WTT, $5.82. SEO System Access, $6,000, and PPL Academy course for $527. A total of $20,302. And I'm sure someone is feverishly typing in on a calculator to make sure I did that right. And if I didn't, it's close enough. So if all we did was allow you to set up one additional revenue stream, and I want to go into that in detail in a second, but if all we did was allow you to set up one additional revenue stream, would this event be worth it? Heading to Greensboro, getting out of the effing house, would it be worth it? If we gave you just a handful of gold nuggets, a few fine tunes in your system that will provide geometric increases in your traffic and revenue and make your life way easier, would it be worth it? If we show you exactly what to do when to a T, would it be worth it? If we help you land at least one high ticket client, I can guarantee you with the strategy that we're going to give you for completely utilizing all of these perpetual updates and how you can recognize opportunity in the marketplace and how you can structure these deals, it's going to be simple to land at least one high ticket client. Or if we can help you recover one site or a few dozen, a few hundred, would that be worth it? So what is one client worth to everyone in here? Would one client, do you consider that, 1K a month, 5K, 10K, or is it 25K or more? And how much would you pay to get one single high ticket client? How much would you pay to recognize an opportunity that you might not otherwise have seen and get 50% of the upside of someone's complete business? And how would you structure that deal? What would that be worth? This, I think a lot of people have seen this, but this is a client that we have at $51,900, and this is just network and traffic building, to be honest. Easy paycheck, and it yielded them tremendous results. So you can see, if we're able to deliver this, if we're able to stay well ahead of the curve, if we're able to do everything we say, you can see why companies would pay us $50,000 a month, right? One, we do get the traffic that we promise. We typically go, especially now, on results-based marketing because we know we can get the results, and we know that is going to pay us quite a bit more, especially in perpetuity. And honestly, we know how to convert. Our campaigns flat out convert. We can combine SEO and paid for instant and consistent lead flow, and our confidence when we walk into a place knowing we're in the top of the industry helps us land these higher paying clients.
We got comments from multiple people and Fletch in there, and I've had conversations a lot with students about how they're scared to take on these kind of clients. They're scared to do it, and that's what's wonderful about this system, and then also the community we have is that
the community, especially.
You can fulfill these things no matter what. You can walk in with the confidence to take on anything that comes your way. Like there's nothing to be afraid of when you have the right processes and the right costs on things and the right people around you. 100%, nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah, if American Express fills out your contact form tomorrow and wants you to do $100,000 a month test for them for 6 to 12 months, you should be able to do it after this.
Yeah. 100%.
Easily.
Like no hesitation. You need to get through the pitch. You need to get through all of that, and that's once you start understanding how to do all of that, it becomes an option, and so it's important to have those systems.
Exactly. So you can see with all this good I'm throwing at you, why this would be a good deal at $6,000. Honestly, we're going to charge $34.97 for non-early bird attendees, but this is launch night. And because you are special, you can attend for just $14.97. We didn't raise the price at all. Or if you want to do the 2-pay, it's just $7.97. And the reason I did that, the math is easier that way. I think it's like.
I tried to get him to raise the price because I'm not kidding. The value is exponential this year.
Yeah, at least 1,000 or 2 more was than this price point was tossed out initially. We were going to take it much smaller, but then Craig wanted to see everyone get his ass kicked, so he talked us into keeping it lower. So if you're ready to hop on, head over to nfg2021.com and sign up.
And I will throw out there the first. I was going to say the first 20 people, the first 10 people, but the first 5 people tonight, because we got tomorrow too. I have a special freaking treat for them the night before, and some additional shit that I'm going to be talking to them about that night too. So I'm going to toss some stuff in. I also wanted to let people know that there's a fun thing that's going to happen leading up as well before Brad goes on.
Yep. But wait, of course, there's more. There's always more when it comes to Mike, because he's a tall glass of water. This year, we are bringing back the NFG workshop, which is optional. You're going to get with the price of admission, you're going to get the first 2 days where we're going to cover the entire system step by step all the way through, make sure all your questions are answered. But the final workshop day, this will be a small cap classroom style setting where the top SEOs in the industry personally look over your shoulder and make sure that your campaigns are perfect. So if you've had the traffic losses, you bring this site in, you have Mike or any other of the plethora of speakers, there's honestly too many, go to the landing page, NFG 2021, to see all the speakers, and I honestly haven't updated it. We've got more that are coming, and I'll continually add those, but they will be able to personally look at your site and tell you exactly what to do, especially based on the NFG system and the way we're tying everything together.
What we want to see again is the workshop stuff where people ranking on day 2, ranking the next week, making money the next week. So everyone that is talking this about a piece of this system this year will be there and will be helping you. There's people that have tools out there that are just amazing, that are going to be telling you exactly how to use these, how they use them. The people that wrote the tools will be there to explain it to you, to implement them on your new campaigns or any existing campaigns, or the ones that we talked about before the actual event. So it's super freaking beneficial.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, all your questions answered. So what is included in the VIP day? Like I said, one-on-one personal coaching and training from every presenter at the event. If you add up their hourly rates, multiply it by 8 hours, you're going to get at least $60,000 worth of value there. The workshop classroom style setting, where we sit down with you, we're putting a $20,000 value on that. A separate for workshop attendees only, 24/7 Skype support, so we can in confidence talk about everyone's personal projects and not worry about it getting out. We're gonna put the value there at $11.64, and the massive closed door tactics, because some other stuff's going to come out that day. You're going to be getting that, and we're putting a value on that at $19,997 for a total value of $101,161. So workshop bonus, and I know everyone is looking forward to this. This is UK versus USA. Craig's gonna get his ass handed to him. He might see it different, but that's how I see it. So workshop.
The US will take this. There's gonna be quite a bit of people coming over from the UK to support that team, though. But
there is.
The US will take this.
That's a long way to travel to be disappointed. That's all I'm gonna say. So yeah. So once we wrap up the 3rd day, so it's it's September 30th, October 1st, and 2nd. That Saturday, once we wrap that up, we are going to head to an undisclosed location. More information on that coming soon. But we're going to head to a place with a ring. Craig and I are going to lace up, and we're going to go. I'm trying to talk him into 6 rounds to give the people a show. It doesn't matter. It's going to end probably in 2 or 3 if I let it go that long. But Too bad Craig's not here. Yeah, so we're gonna throw down that night, blow off steam, and then we're gonna go downtown Greensboro and just take over. And yeah, there's gonna be a lot of steam blown off that night. But you get a ticket. As far as I see it right now, that's going to be the only way to watch the SEO NFG showdown between Craig and myself. And I'm trying to put together a few undercard fights for that event. But at the very least, you're going to get me and Craig just punching each other in the face. And I know a lot of people have been looking forward to that.
We might be taking bets on this, but we are going to have a little fight leading up to it as well. There will be a lead-up contest for attendees that will pay them money if they can beat one of our presenters in this contest too. So it's all about fights this year. We're going to destroy the SERPs and we're going to destroy the UK.
Yeah, a few people were saying you can't fight. We need a cliffhanger. Oh, no worries. I'll just find, we can find someone else.
This is just the first year of fights.
Once Craig is carted off, maybe we can find someone else. I doubt it. There'd be a lot of scared people. They call me the young Mike Tyson, even though I'm older than I think he was when he fought. I'm not sure.
And you're white.
Yeah, and I'm white, and I don't have a gold tooth. But anyway, yeah. So as far as we know right now, the only way to see this, because there is limited seating at the venue that we're going to hold it, we got to hold it to the workshop attendees only. So workshop bonus number 2, co-op access. This is going to be good. Everyone's going to love this. This is going to be some follow-up information as well after the event. But believe me when I say it, you're going to want to be a part of this. It's going to be essentially a push-button way to generate money in one of the toughest niches on the planet. But for right now, this is the only way to get into the co-op is through the workshop day, because it's needed in order to, the information that you're going to get is needed in order to get the most out of the co-op access. So very big. This 1997 is very, very
so small, bro.
low. Yes. So that's from this, I think less than a year's worth of revenue. It's way undervalued, but I don't want to bullshit. I don't want people to think I'm bullshitting them. So just put 1997. No, that's undervalued for this, but co-op access is you're going to want that. You're going to want it. So breaking it all down, VIP workshop day plus bonuses, one-on-one personal coaching and training, $60,000 value, workshop classroom style setting, $20,000 value, private 24/7 Skype support, $1164, massive closed door tactics, some extra spillover from the event, $19,997. Your ticket to NFG Boxing Association premier fight, UK versus US, $997 value, and SEO co-op access that is going to, I don't even know how to word it with the amount of excitement that's going to be surrounding that, but it's going to be exclusive. It would put that at $19,997, bringing the total value of the VIP day alone to $122,155. So the 3-day value recap: main event $12,196, main event bonuses $8,106, closed door VIP day $101,161, and VIP bonuses $20,994, bringing the total 3-day value recap all the way up to $142,457. And that seems like a high number, but we absolutely know the value is there. We've had students in the past, and like I said, it's Millionaires Row at the first event. We want to get people to a level where they don't need us anymore, and this is the quickest way to do it. But we have made millionaires multiple times over at these events. It can be extremely eye-opening, especially when you apply this process to your current business. You don't have to reinvent the wheel and create a brand new business for it. When you apply it to what you already know in your background knowledge, that's where we've seen people really take off with this information. So you can see why VIP day, the first 2 days, it would be a good deal at 10,000. You know, we valued it at what, 142 and some change, but it would be a smoking deal at 10,000. But again, because you're special, you can get VIP for just 3 payments of $249. And this is actually reduced a little bit because I know everyone's going to want to see that fight. I know everyone's going to want that one-on-one access. So we knocked off one of the payments this year to bring it down, just 3 payments of $249. Go ahead and go over to nfg2021.com, add that OTO in the cart process, and we will see you there. So just go over to nfg2021.com and pick up both of those. So we said earlier we had 2 choices. We could put a dog shit event together, go as cheap as possible. Obviously we haven't. Or we could take it to the next level, put all we've got into it. I mean, just this presentation alone, I don't know how many hours Mike has spent on it, you know, and put something together that we can be proud of. So now you have 2 choices. You can continue down the path you have been, allowing your rankings, leads, and revenue to incrementally slip lower and lower over time. And if that hasn't happened, that's freaking fantastic, but you want to be sure it doesn't happen. Or the second option, you could attend NFG Live this year, 2021. It's been fantastic every year, but you know, I'm especially excited about this one. Put our bulletproof system in place and stop battling attrition, allowing you to geometrically increase the amount of progress you can make each day, week, or a year. Now, if that works, great. If not, you're still going to be able to easily earn a return with the amount of info that you'll be absorbing at the event. If you take in one thing and you're able to apply it, it's going to pay for the ticket. If you take 2, it's going to, you know, more than pay for it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tactics. You know, it's a no-brainer. So our guarantee, always got to put out a guarantee. Sign up today, and after the event, if you don't feel like you're 100% ready to take it to the absolute next level, maybe you missed something, maybe you're having that paralysis by analysis that I talked about in the beginning, but if you don't feel like you can do it, if you don't feel like you're 100% crystal clear, then one of the coaches, just reach out to us. We'll hop on. We will make sure that you have the process in place to ensure your success. So that's our guarantee.
I think we've been talking to the same people for freaking 6 years now and answering their questions since the first event, dude.
Yeah, even Jeff popped up the other day, right? A lot of them have, you know, they've got the process down. They probably, they probably need to come back and kind of re-optimize things at this point, especially since what's happened this year. But they're doing quite well.
I've seen a lot of the old faces pop out with some of these issues. It's definitely a beneficial year for everybody. There's been the changes just in the last 3 months have been exponential, and a lot of it's been missed by a lot of people.
Shit, just this week.
Yeah, this week was huge actually, and it's not going to be felt for a while, but it's going to make a difference in everyone going forward for sure.
Yep. So the real question is it worth gambling a few minutes of your time to, you know, check this out? You know, you've been with this for nearly 2 hours now. Which, if this event can do even half of what we've claimed it can do on this webinar, it will easily pay for itself with one additional revenue stream. That's just one site generating less than $200 a month. That's all you have to do. And I will break down this math very clearly in a second, but that's all you have to do to get this event completely paid for. It's freaking crazy. So again, you can attend for just $14.97. If you want to do the 2 pay, that's fine. $7.97, 2 payments of that. Plus, I don't see any reason why, if you're coming to the main day, why you wouldn't want to come to the VIP workshop day. And that is just 3 payments of
people need to come to that workshop day is what I'm going to say. I think they really should be there. If they can, they should be there for 3 days. It's super, super freaking important and beneficial.
I think it just ties everything together, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
it's not required. It's super beneficial.
Yes, exactly. So this is my biggest thing, to be honest, and this is why I'm looking forward to it so much. Like I said, we've been packed in our houses. Most of us work from home. The biggest adjustment for me, everyone's asking, how's COVID going? How's COVID going? I was like, dude, I'm not used to my family being home this much. I like being alone at the office. But yeah, I do get lonely sometimes. So I'm looking forward to really, because we didn't get to do it last year because of COVID. We didn't do an online event because I really didn't think that we could bring the same effect to it without Mike and I being in the same room. And it would just be a hodgepodge of.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, it can be done right, but we didn't want to do it. So we've all been locked up for 18 months now. So I say it's time to get out, make a bold prediction that your business is going to take a quantum leap, no matter where you are. If you're just starting out, if you've been rolling with this for a while, if your bank account's looking pretty, you can still make a quantum leap that you deserve and actually take massive action and ensure it happens with those 3 days. So head over to NFG 2021 if that sounds good to you. All right, here's the map. Complete risk reversal. What I'm trying to do here is show everyone that we can completely take the risk out of the event, the monetary risk, the time risk, everything. We can completely eradicate that. So imagine being able to create a site at the event that generates a measly, I consider this very low, $200 a month. A lot of people go, their goal is $100 a day for a campaign. Let's scale that way back. Let's go $200 a month. Easy, right? All right, cool. Now let's sell it. The price for cash generating sites has exponentially gone up right now. So this 28x is a lowball estimate. I actually saw Craig the other day selling a few of his properties, 35x monthly net revenue.
Oh, it's nuts right now, dude.
Yes. I've seen them selling as high as 45, close to 50.
45, dude.
Yeah. So, but in this estimate, in this math, I use 28 because I think that's very reasonable. Monthly multiplier. And that's a not so modest $5.6 thousand asset. So one of these sites generating $200 a month, you've automatically added a 5.6K asset to your online portfolio. Sell it, dump that back into a new site or sites in your network, and do it multiple times over at that point. So, but that's a complete risk reversal. If you can take this system, put it into place, have some auto blogs even generating $200 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that will happen when you're there.
Have 10 of them generating $20 a month and sell the entire network. And there's your 5.6K asset. And setting up something to generate $20 a month takes what, 5-10 minutes, Mike? Something like that. Just auto gen for,
Yeah, the $200 site absolutely can be a button press.
Yeah, exactly. So complete risk reversal. Come and build at least a 5.6K asset. Not guaranteeing it, because if you go home and sit on your ass and don't do anything, then of course you're not going to get any value out of it. But we're going to try and push you if we can to where that doesn't happen. So
I'm excited for this year, man. I really freaking am. I'm excited for the lead up. I'm excited for all of it.
Yep. So
fight.
Here's what we do next. We head over to NFG2021.com and we go ahead and hop on.
And I'll go after you.
Oh, you're good. So again, here's what you're getting. Full membership, Skype access, 1164, advanced SEO tactics, 1997, on-page trickery and advanced site structure setup, and campaign structuring, $497. National and GMB PPL hacking, $1997. Power linking tiered, done the right way, $547. Systemizing national through the auto gen sites, for $997. And the undisclosed silver bullet, $997. Bonus one, the auto site plugin, $997. NFG 6 months and WTT $582. SEO system access, $6,000 value, and PPL Academy course that is unreleased. This is the only way you're going to get it. $527 at $20,302. And then you've got the VIP day and bonuses. You've got the one-on-one personal coaching and training completely over the shoulder at $60,000. Workshop classroom style setting at $20,000. Private 24/7 Skype support, $1164. Massive closed door tactics that are going to spill over, $19,997. Your ticket to the NFG Boxing Association's premier event, $997. And SEO co-op access at $19,997 for a total value for just the VIP day and bonuses at $122,155. And again, the three-day value recap, main event, $20,996. Main event bonuses, $8,552. Closed door VIP access at $101,661. And the VIP day bonuses at $3,991 value. And that puts everything at $135,200. All right, if you haven't signed up immediately, you're kind of on the fence. There are probably a few reasons. Reason one, you might not think you can afford it. And I've already given you the complete risk reversal there, taken all the risk out of it monetarily. And, you know, you can, in my opinion, if you can set up a $200 a month site, you can't afford not to, especially with the
it'll pay for itself. Absolutely.
Yeah. Especially with the co-op access, it's going to be just a game changer. You're worried about fitting it into your schedule. I completely understand that. Everyone's gotten used to staying at home now. You know, I don't want to travel. I don't want to go out. But I know how important the networking aspect of these things are. Like I said, that's where Mike and I met, was at an event, and I don't know how much money we've made together, but we've done well, especially with the projects outside of teaching that we've teamed up on together. Massive amounts of cash generated through one partnership, and it's absolutely amazing. And we've got other partnerships that we've teamed up with other people on that we've actually met at events or through other venues. So networking is key. And you're not sure if this is the right fit for whatever type of agency you're running, whether it be a client agency, PPL agency, or you're just running affiliate sites. And to be honest, it's all the same across the board. The system can be.
You can't afford to miss it, to be honest, and it is. It doesn't matter if it's local. The processes that you should be doing, they don't matter what you're doing. This is what you should be doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, continuous optimization, campaign structuring, everything else that's going to be covered. The way that Mike is seeing it together, there's honestly, I can safely say that there's never been an event like this in the past, at least to my knowledge. I'd be very surprised if there were.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So again, I'm just a freaking caveman that can throw my kid about 10 feet in the air. I'm not a technical SEO. Luckily, I have Mike for that. And if Mike can teach me the technical SEO stuff and I can bring it down to earth, anyone can learn this stuff. It's a simple process once you get it out of Mike's brain and onto paper. Complex linking diagrams make my head hurt. That's why I love our tiered link building system, because it's so simple. 3, 9, 27. You just have to know what anchors to use where. But I have always known the power of events. That's why I've paid massive amounts of money to go to events in the past, strictly for the networking and learning from the absolute best. This is where the absolute best in the industry are going to be. and why not come and shoot the shit with them, shoot pool with them, walk around downtown Greensboro, all that good stuff. It just doesn't make sense not to, especially since we've been cooped up for the past 18 months everywhere. So again, here's what you're going to get. The main event, 12,196. Main event bonuses, 8,106. Closed door VIP day, 101,161. And the VIP day bonuses, 20,994 for a total value of 142,457. One last thing to hand out to everyone. For the first 30 people that join the event, I'm not sure if we'll hit that tonight, so this will extend to tomorrow probably, but hop on quickly because it'll probably be gone before the weekend. But for the first 30 people, everyone that does that is going to get 80% off 2 CID Digital Nitro tiers. This is unreleased to the public at this point in time because we just
it's funny because I did a test for a guy that has like 3 or 4 of the marketplaces that people all over go and buy their links at, and it's just amazing to watch the difference in what is out there and what actually people should be doing and how effective this shit is, dude.
Mm-hmm. So 80% off we're gonna lose some money on it, but it's to cover a majority of the cost. We're putting that value at $997 for that. So if you want that, hurry over there, be one of the first to sign up, nfg2021.com. You can attend, like I said, for $14.97, or you can do a 2-pay for $7.97. And if you want to join the VIP workshop day, that's just 3 payments of $249, and then you get to see me and Craig duke it out. I think we're going to have some extra follow-up webinars. Is that true, Mike? For the
there actually are going to be follow-up webinars with specific people, specific tools, and specific parts of the strategy.
Yeah. Not
to mention what will happen with the co-op and stuff, dude.
Exactly. So if you still have questions, of course, ask them here. But after, if something pops in your head, I've set up a Skype group. Go ahead and join that so you can ask any questions that you want. Just use that link there, or email me at brad@nfgseo.com, or find me on Skype, BADMAB86. Mike, what do you want to give out your Skype handle if anyone wants to ping you?
Yeah, I absolutely. I might be a little busy this evening. I'm gonna try to get. I'm already getting a bunch of Skype from people that are doing this. So it's Michael MICHAEL_. Here's PEAR, S as in Sam, E, and the number 1 is my Skype.
Yeah. So if you have
the
something,
VIP day is the second. The end of the event is the workshop there.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to get all the way through. We're going to, barrage you with information, barrage you with processes. It's going to all be tied together in a neat package that kind of starts off at the start and ends at the finish, of course. Logical, right? So at the end of the 2 days, you're going to have all the information you need. And then the workshop date, you're going to bring your own personal projects. If you don't have one before the event, we can help you
start it.
Yeah, you're going to start it at that point, so you can know exactly what to do on your personal project. And we've seen
for the leading up, we are going to have a kind of a contest for people that are attending, where there is going to be a cash prize. I am going to be available to help people with their stuff if they have questions, but you're going to be going up against one of the speakers directly and trying to beat out the speaker for the query that we will be discussing. And I'm giving you the query tonight, but it is Just Watch App Bonus. Just Watch App Bonus. I will announce the start, like for the people that are going. I'll let you know what the details are for that contest once you're in there. Once we get through tonight and tomorrow, we'll start letting you know. But we're not doing a typical contest where mass page where we're doing local. We want people to start getting their head around the fact that you go after things like casino and you go after things like app and start targeting things that make you real money, because local is local. It makes great money. hardcore optimization, when you start getting into like that kind of market, this is what these systems are for on top of logo. So taking all that, combining it together to make a process that murders it is what it's about. So I want to see people that can take part in that, because I think it'll be a great learning part of the workshop as well. So.
Yeah, the very first NFG event, we did a workshop setting, a true workshop setting. And like we said, the stuff that we showed people on day one, by the time they were leaving, I think that was just a 2-day workshop.
It was.
They were ranking like the morning that they were leaving, so a day or two later. It was pretty phenomenal. So yeah, you're going to get a chance with the co-op to do something very similar to that as well when you come to the VIP day. So any questions? I know we've covered a lot. You guys have been on, you got everyone in here is a trooper. Any questions for us before we hop off? There was a question about a broadcast. At this point in time, we don't plan on doing a broadcast because we would have to hire, a team and all that stuff. I don't have, it's going to be a shitty broadcast if I stand there with my iPhone the whole time. So we would have to hire, a team to come in and do that. So at this point, we do not plan on doing it. I'm not saying it's a hard no, but I am saying at this point in time, you really need to come and network if at all possible, because that's where the lasting value, in my opinion, is going to do. And you're going to feel more obligated, committed, whatever word you want to use.
Yes,
there.
There's a reason to the methods of Madden's that we do. We think about what we do. We do it the way we do because it's most beneficial for people.
Yes. So, any other questions? You got the Skype room, you got email, you got private Skype. I'll check my messages once we hop off here. But yeah, I'll need to get some sleep because we're doing this bad boy again in the morning, aren't we, Mike?
I know, man. I gotta get rest too because we're gonna do it again. I think I'm gonna. There's some other stuff I think tomorrow too to go over. I thought of, so it'll be fun.
Yep. So, any questions? Speak now. Or
thank you all for sticking and listening. We love you for it.
Yeah. So, if at all possible, join us in Greensboro. It's going to be a fantastic event as usual. We're staying at the Marriott this year, so we can be more centrally located to downtown. Because when we stayed at the proximity the last few times it's been in Greensboro, we had some people want to go downtown. It'd just be easier to stay downtown. So the Marriott's nice. And,
there's another question about we do not sell our events online as a video after the fact. It's not something we do. So it just
definitely not that we wouldn't be able to do the workshop. There would be no way to do a workshop day.
Definitely can't do the workshop like that. So at this point, there's no digital planning there.
Yeah.
For that.
Plus, we would have to record it.
I was going to say something and I just lost. I'm looking through Skype. There's a couple questions that came through that I think it will help people, but I lost them. So whatever.
Yep. All right. Any questions? Ask them in the Skype group. I think we're going to sign off. If you need to hear this information again, feel free to join us tomorrow at 10 a.m. You've got the link to the webinar, and we will see you there. Thanks for sticking around, everyone, and have a fantastic evening. Bye.
Thanks, all.